Sigma currently holds the reputation for affordable lenses that also boast a beautiful, sharp image. I love the look that Sigma achieves with their modern lenses, but I was curious if they always had the same look. This is the Sigma Mini Wide 28mm f2.8 macro lens. I have also shot a film with a kit of Sigma photo primes, and I love the look that Sigma achieves with their modern lenses. I wanted to see if this vintage lens lives up to the current Sigma name, or if it's better off as a paperweight. My favorite vintage lens that I currently own is also a 28mm, the Super Multi-Coated Takumar f3.5. I love this focal length because it is just on the wider end where a 35 may leave you feeling limited. That gives me high hopes for what I can capture with this lens, especially since it has a faster aperture and a closer minimum focus. So let's get into it. Here are some sample images I took using the Sigma 28mm. I want to take a look at the bokeh. At the minimum focus distance, you can actually get some swirly bokeh, which a lot of vintage lens enthusiasts seem to seek out. Personally, when the effect is too strong, I am not a fan of the swirly bokeh, but this is a pretty controlled version and it's more pleasing. The bokeh this lens has, I would say, is more of a sharper bokeh. It's not to the level that you might see on some Tamron lenses where it just feels like the entire image is sharpened. It does create a really nice blur at minimum focus and wide open, but optically it's not the sharpest and it's not very contrasty either. It also has a bit of vignetting that goes away when you stop it down. Does it have the vintage aesthetic that a lot of us seek out? Yes. Because this lens lacks sharpness, contrast, and an overall pop of the subject, I wouldn't pit this lens against my other vintage lenses in my kit. When compared to my Takumar 28mm, even though I can't get as close with my focus, you can tell that the Takumar is the sharper, contrastier lens, and also it gives a much better pop of the subject. Now, I was able to find this lens pretty darn cheap, so that comes down to the question, will I be keeping this lens? And I think the answer is pretty simple. I'm probably going to get rid of this lens. I have better options at my disposal already. While the close focus is nice, macro tubes or extension tubes will always be able to turn any vintage lens into more of a macro lens for yourself. So what really matters after that is optical quality and character, but if you don't own a Takumar, this may be something worth at least starting out on until you find out what you like. So that's my thoughts on the Sigma 28mm f2.8 macro mini wide. That's a whole mouthful. If you plan on picking up a copy of this lens, let me know in the comments because I'd like to know what makes you intrigued by it. But otherwise, look out for the other vintage lens reviews that I will be putting on my channel shortly. I appreciate the watch and I'll see you next time.